what's your feeling for Italian cinema, and how did your relationship with Edwige start, and how did you decide to do this thing together?
Well, I love Italian cinema, and growing up, the films that we got were, you know, L'Avventura, Bicycle Thieves, the Fellini films. That was sort of my early impressions of Italian cinema. But as I became a teenager, I started becoming aware of the Italian horror films, and I was watching Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci and all of those films, and Umberto Lenzi, certainly, and of course Ruggero Deodato with Cannibal Holocaust. And then finally, I started watching, you know, getting into the kind of early 70s Giallo films of Sergio Martino. And I had seen Edwige, but now, you know, with DVD, you can really get nice transfers. And with Quentin Tarantino, we were talking about our love of Italian cinema, and he has 35mm prints, so I finally got to see, you know, real projected versions of these films. And I love them. I love the Sergio Martino Giallo films, the Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. But I also love the, you know, Strip Nude for Your Killer. I thought that her performance is so superb in the Giallo films. She's so many different levels and layers to her performance. And she's so stunningly beautiful, but also she does these hilarious comedies. You know, the comedies Lovely Theater, the English Teacher, and it's so rare to find a star, and I don't even think there really is no equivalent to her who can do that level of drama and that level of comedy and be that beautiful and that iconic. And when I was in Rome last year with Hostel 1, I got to meet her and have lunch, and we both shared such a passion and love for cinema. I asked if would you ever return to the screen? Because I know she's a big producer now and distributor. And she said, okay, well, only if it's for you and Quentin. And so I wrote this part and said, okay, what if it's for both of us? And once we had Edwige, then there were other parts I thought, okay, you know, what if Luc Morenda would do it? And of course, and Ruggero Deodato, I wrote a cameo for him. And they, of course, called Edwige, and Edwige said yes, or Eli's great. So she actually wound up being also, you know, doing producer duties anyways on the film, helping get these other actors. So it was just such an honor to get to work with her. It was a dream for me.
The second question, I was just reading one of your sentences, Eli. That according to you, there is a specific need inside the human nature of each one of us. That's the need or the impulse to control or damage other people. So that's the question for you both. What are you feeling about this? You know, what do you think, you know, about everyone's needs to control and damage other people? What do you think about it?
I think there's something in our genetic makeup as humans that everyone is capable of violence under the right circumstances, and everyone's had that situation where someone does something terrible to them and they go and they take it out on someone weaker, not necessarily physically, but it could be emotionally. It's just part of the human condition. And in the film, you know, we're showing the darkest side of capitalism and this idea that if you have enough money, you can control who lives and who dies, which is how I feel about Halliburton and the oil companies. And I do think that the people in America, in American society, are so obsessed and so consumed with making money that eventually the money, it's not enough anymore. They don't get satisfied from that. They want that power over another person. I just think it's one of the dark sides of human beings. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And you can buy everything, and you can even buy your life back.
Well, I think that you can buy it, but the price is you'd have to take someone else's life. Yeah. You know, nobody gets out clean from this place.
Yeah, no one does.
But that's how I feel about these oil companies. I feel like there's blood on their hands. And I think that, you see, look at Hurricane Katrina. I mean, nobody did anything for 5 days. If it's poor black people, the U.S. government doesn't care. But if it's their oil companies, then they're right there. Then they're actually starting the work to protect their oil interests. It's just so blatant. And it's shocking to me that more people don't actually get upset about that in America. They tend to focus on movie violence, not actual real violence that's happening in the real world.
Yeah, people get more impressed about what they see on TV than what they see in real life.
Yeah, they don't look at the fake stuff. Yeah. It's, you know, for me, it's just storytelling. Fairy tales are violent. There's violence everywhere, but the actual real life violence, they seem fine with that. They seem complacent as long as they're, you know, still making money.